I'm not sure if you've shown the game already, but
it is up.
Ahead.
It is there. You do the introductions, Rotterdam. Go for it.
Let's do it. Over here on the right top side of Overgrowth, we have our blue Russian Protoss player representing the Vega Squadron. It is DmC. Didn't DmC had a pretty good run in DreamHack Moscow, right? Because then people were making the jokes like "Run DmC," haha.
It was. I think he did actually do quite well. I didn't actually see any of DreamHack Moscow because I was actually competing in kayaking when that was going on. So I was in Moscow the week before though, so I mistimed it terribly.
Really? You went to Moscow to kayak?
Yeah, in the World Championships. It was in Moscow literally the week before DreamHack.
That's amazing. Over here on the left bottom side of the map, we have Scarlett playing under her favorite ID, Talzimba. Okay, man, I messed that introduction up. Alright, anyways, we have the Ace Zerg representing all the beautiful things in life, spawning as red. It is Scarlett. Yay. Oh, Scarlett's taking a note out of Cat's playbook over here.
I know, I was saying that. I was busy watching the probes getting put, and I was like, what are they doing? And then I glanced at the minimap, but at least it's been spotted.
2, 4, 6, 7 probes. 7 probes is enough to kill the hatchery, but it doesn't kill it very quick. As you can see, the HP is dropping, but not really at rapid speed. So at this moment, this is already an okay investment for Scarlett, because these are 7 or 8 probes that are just not working at all, while this hatchery is still going up. So you could cancel it and morph into an evolution chamber if she's super quick. You don't want to have that happen, DmC. That's really frustrating. Nah, it won't happen.
At what point is it actually more cost effective? Well, it's never more cost effective to allow the hatch to finish because obviously creep spread, but how much mining time do you reckon roughly was lost by DmC there?
No, this was an okay response. It's definitely the best way to deal with it, because like you said, if that hatch goes up, then you find yourself in a really annoying position, and there is creep, and then if a queen spawns and a queen is actually able to drop a creep tumor, then you truly start hating life as a Protoss player. And let's not forget that on the other side of the map, Scarlett does not have her own hatchery down yet, so far this is more than acceptable for DmC. He does have to worry about a bunch of Zerglings that are about to make their way across the map. So if I was him, I would get a Zealot soon. He has a lot of Chronobus as well. He really needs to start spending some of that.
When do you see where Scarlett decides to try and pressure with this? There's obviously that pile on the low ground, which is quite an easy target. Zealot being chrono boosted out at the moment, but the Lings, they're going to just be able to run around there and have a nice little time. Making progress across the map. May even spot this probe. This probe could die. Poor probe.
Yeah, the probe should be fine, I think. How much is... Yeah, it's going to be close, but I think it will be fine. I actually think that those Zerglings will start working on the pylon. There is a single Zealot, but a single Zealot does not want to fight against 6 Zerglings. 4 is, of course, okay, especially if there's a probe helping out as well. But 6 Zerglings is a little too much to deal with. So I think that this pylon is going to fall, and that's really frustrating. Now, if we take a look at DmC's vision, we know, of course, that Scarlett is going up to 2 more hatcheries, and there is not a quick extractor behind this. DmC does not know this. For all he knows, he has to worry about a crazy Zergling speed follow-up, and that is like the worst thing in the world if you have this build, because then you're going to lose your Nexus. So this is a very, very uncomfortable situation for DmC to be in. He doesn't have too much to worry about in the end, but that's because we know that. That's not something that he necessarily knows. What's
a little bit awkward for DmC is Scarlett, she was able to knock out that pylon being constructed on the high ground as well, so it ended up being quite a long supply block for the Protoss player here. So Scarlett, she should be in a pretty comfortable position at the moment. She's droning nicely behind this. That third hatchery's finishing on up. It's just a nice spot as a Zerg to be here, even though she was a bit delayed on her natural base. She's got that third hatch coming down. She's in a good position.
Exactly, she definitely made up for that. There is a forge going down in the back of the main base of DmC. We'll most likely start researching +1 immediately, as we know he likes to do that. I'm expecting 2 more gateways to go down in the front. He might put on a little bit of fake pressure, but go up to 3 bases behind that. Unless he doesn't have the confidence playing 3 bases against Scarlett, which I couldn't really blame him for. I know I would be worried if I would give Scarlett so much freedom, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I just hope that he doesn't do that silly Zealot march that he did on King Sejong Station, which was against Bly, I believe, or...
Was it? Or Nurtio. No, it was Nurtio on King Sejong Station.
Oh, yeah, he didn't... No, didn't
No, it was Bly, no, because on King Sejong you went for the Blinkstalkers against Nurtio.
Exactly. So that Zealot march across the map didn't go very well against Bly on King Sejong. I don't think he's going to do it this time. He does have his 2 additional gates going down, but he's already sending out a probe, so he wants to go up to 3 bases. I just realized how refreshing it is to cast the Protoss again, because as much fun as I'm having with your tournament, there aren't really too many Protoss games.
There's not very many Protoss players either. There's only 1 Protoss, 1 Terran, and 4 Zergs. Zerg is definitely the favoured race of the foreigner.
Yeah, it's been like that for a while. Scarlett is messing up her drones a little bit in the main base. I'm not sure if you were watching, but she clicked all of her drones at an extractor, then at the other extractor, then she clicked all of her drones at a single mineral patch. So a couple of unfortunate and unnecessary misclicks, but not the end of the world. She has a bunch of speedlings. There's only a single stalker there, but of course the sentries will usher these Zerglings away for now. Yeah, overall, like I said, like this build from DmC, I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with it. It's just that you give a lot of freedom to the Zerg, and a lot of Protoss players don't feel comfortable with playing like this. He's doing it differently. He's adding 3 more gates already. So there is a chance that this is just going to be like a 7 or an 8 gate with +1. Okay.
Adding in, yeah, there we go. Nice call there, Rotterdam. So what DmC's doing here is just making sure he's in a position where he can ramp up his production nicely. The other advantage of putting these gateways in the position that he has is it just makes a very safe position for this photon cannon. It'll be very difficult to take that down. The only concern has to be that this Stalker's all on its lonesome, but DmC warping in a sentry can force field if required while he's pushing across the map. This is quite a dangerous move. There's a couple of speedlings coming out as well as those spines, but the spines aren't done yet and the Zerglings aren't done yet.
No, the force fields are going to be annoying, but the thing is there's no warp prism here, there is no pylon to reinforce, so I think Scarlett eventually should be okay. Frustrating, yes, but she's already going to force out the recall as he had a couple of Zerglings swinging in from behind. Even allows her to cancel 3 out of those 4 spine crawlers with the first Hydralisk on the way already. If Scarlett just goes ham on the Hydralisk production, but she's adding an infestation pit already, but I would actually like to see her continue building the Hydralisk and Zerglings, because I think that would be very difficult for DmC to deal with, especially because Blink is only 40 seconds in, and without Blink, just single gateway units against Hydra Ling, you're in for a rough time, that's for sure.
Waiting to see when really DmC gets any kind of viable scouting information. He's sending in the Hallucinated Phoenix now. This is where he sees the Hydrogen, sees the infestation pit. It'll be interesting to see how DmC responds to this. If you were in DmC's position now, Rotterdam, what would you do?
Yeah, there's not too much that he can do right now. He has to sit back, he has to make sure that his robotics facility finishes up, then get a robo bay. I would scout again, and as soon as I see the first Swarmos come out, I would probably add my second robotics facility as soon as possible. Because he is already on 3 bases, so he's on 6 assimilators. He can definitely afford double robo production. That's probably what I would do. I would try to win the game with 6 Colossus somehow before Vipers are out. I'm not even sure if that's still realistic. Because Scarlett already has access to Hive if she wants to. Alright, he scouts, he sees the Swarmos pop. If I was him, I would drop a Robo Bay and a second robotics facility. Instead, he's going to go for the Stargate way.
This is quite interesting. So, dropping down the Stargate earlier does open up obviously some other tech parts for him. He could be looking to go into some Voidways, could be looking to go out a couple of Tempest, etc. long term. But obviously, it limits the amount of Colossus production he has. He doesn't even have a robotics bay at the moment, so this is going to be quite delayed for him to get anything out.
He's stepping on creep once more, perhaps trying to make something happen with a couple of good force fields, but his army right now is really not very good against the units that Scarlett has out on the map. Every single unit that he has in that army is terrible against Locust, other than force fields, I guess. Blinking forward will, I want to say, make him lose 1 Stalker, but that's not true, as all Stalkers do survive. Yeah. Okay,
oh, look at the Speedling counterattack. This is a lot of Lings. Okay, Scarlett decides against it.
Yeah, the SimCity is not working. Oh my god, he's going 4 Stargate with a fleet beacon. Are you kidding me? Like, if I was Scarlett, if I was Scarlett now, like, why wouldn't you just make a bunch of Hydralisk and start attacking? Because this is such a massive investment of a Protoss player. There are a bunch of Zealots in the main, but Scarlett has plenty of units in her own main base to deal with that. Like, I really think that Scarlett right now should just make Hydralisk and win, but that's just my opinion.
She's adding in more Swarm hosts at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. DmC looking to try and harass into this 3rd base. Warp Prism harass in the main, pushing in with his army towards the 4th, trying to split apart Scarlett's defenses, but good force fields will zone out those Locusts for the time being. The Mothership Core is coming through, so a mass recall is possible. Taking a bit of damage from those spines, but DmC just going to pick that off, recall out. Gets a hatch, but there's already the gold base on its way for Scarlett as well.
Yeah, it's like It's like one of those scenarios where he gets a hatch, but how much did he lose there? He lost a bunch of sentries, he lost a stalker or two, he used energy on his mothership. Like, it's okay, but Scarlett losing that hatchery right now is really not crippling her or anything. She's still on 3 mining bases. That 4th base is about to finish up at the gold, like you mentioned. She has already money in the bank, she's close to maxing out, so yeah, it was an okay snipe, I guess, but really nothing game-breaking.
This poor Overseer realizes that 4 Void Rays pop simultaneously as it just melts, but at least Scarlett knows there's Void Rays on the way, and a lot of them. 4 being produced at a time. The dangerous... Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I'm just already imagining a world where there's only like 16 Void Rays kill everything, and I promise you I will start giggling. I'm sorry, madam.
Don't worry, it's fine. Void Rays, I have a horrible experience of Void Rays. Back when I first started playing StarCraft 2, Void Rays were the bane of my existence. They just destroyed everything repeatedly.
Void Rays were the key to my success. Alright, I mean, he's already on 8 Void Rays. I was like wondering, oh my god, he's 8 carriers now as well. This is like, was it first against Alive on Deathwing during the Inter Extreme Masters in Toronto? That crazy game that came down to a bunch of empty carriers. Like, oh, he's misgrabbed. Morelli,
oh no!
Gateway units.
Those locusts died at such a convenient time for DmC there.
Exactly, that could have gone a lot worse, but it still went pretty bad.
I've worked out what it is, why DmC is going for all of these carriers now. And that's because there's 2 ways you can get famous in esports. The first one is you can be really, really, really good. The second one is you can be really, really, really entertaining. And making a lot of carriers in a game is certainly one way to do the latter.
I mean, making carriers and losing is not going to make you famous. Making carriers and winning, however, that might give you a bunch of fans. But okay, I think actually we can prepare ourselves for a really long game, because now obviously DmC's army is pretty strong. I don't think that he can just step on creep or something. Scarlett should just get a lot of spore crawlers, and that's exactly what she's doing right now. She already has 6. She probably needs like a solid 20 spore crawlers at any given moment. And if she does that, then it's just happy as buck time, you know? It's like when the hunting season opens, that's pretty much what it is for the Vipers. You know, when there are 20 spores, hunting season is opening and they can go for a hunt.
They'll slowly edge forward, and we saw actually Scarlett have great control with their static defense yesterday in her games up against Snoop with the mass Broodlord style play. So certainly something that can happen. And well, slowly edging forward now. A couple of these locusts take down some cannons, but edging forward, the carriers are there. Oh, the mothership core. That's one dead mothership. Is it going to survive? Wow, it does survive. No, it doesn't.
What? I don't know if you had that too, but I saw they had a freeze. But the Void Ray, I believe, did die there, and the Mothership Core did die as well. DmC is running all of his gateway units into the main base. He would love to get the sentries in, but Scarlett is like, nope, not today. So she picks up the sentries immediately, and eventually I think all these zealots and the stalkers will die as well. Might be able to get a hatchery over here, I guess.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world, though. Scarlett, she's still sitting there with a good number of bases, although the gold base is taking quite a lot of damage. The Void Rays and carriers are attempting to push into these spores. Yoink, there goes a Void Ray back, another yoink, and that's definitely dead, but...
That's where you're wrong, Metals. It always looks like the Zerg base is taking a lot of damage, but what is actually happening is that the Protoss is throwing away his hard-earned tax dollars.
Is that like that YouTube series, what it looks like compared to what it feels like?
Pretty much. It looks like a lot of stuff is happening, but what is actually happening is that you're tickling your kitty, and that she's really enjoying it.
Well, natural base for Scarlett has been taken down. More zealots getting warped in. They're just relentless. Poor little guys. They go in so hopeful, not realizing they're going to die.
You know, I actually, I recently met the guy who makes those videos, how it looks, how it feels. He came to the GSL viewing party, and we gave him all these ideas, and he's like, man, you guys got all these great ideas. And we're like, oh, what can we say? We play StarCraft all the time. He's like, I have to write this stuff down.
I love those videos. They're some of my favorite new videos on StarCraft.
Yep. Totally agree. The guy has a really good sense of humor. I think it's really directed towards like the hardcore StarCraft 2 fan, but for us, I think it's really, really fun to watch.
So, back to this game. We've just had a couple of skirmishes, nothing too crazy. We've got to that point where there are 8 carriers out for DmC. I don't remember the last time I actually said that phrase in an actual game of high-level StarCraft. So, Interesting times right now. The War Prism still is harassing. Obviously, the Golden Armada is slowly edging around, trying to find a nice opportunity to attack. Oh, the Vipers are there. They need to be careful. There's not many corruptors.
Is he just gonna fly into the main base and try? Oh, that's actually pretty sick. I mean, yes, of course there is like there are
nice
spore crawlers, but they're not spore crawlers in the main base. There are only so many units that he can abduct. No, don't fight in range of the spores. That never goes well. She's just flown into the main.
The abducts are good. Carriers getting taken down. All the Void Rays have been eliminated, bar one.
This is cool. I really wanted to see just like put those carriers in the main base and kill everything. That would be amazing. There are 12 more corruptors on the way. How many corruptors does Scarlett has? 11. 23 corruptors should be enough, but there is Storm though. Don't lose your carriers. So sad.
This is why people don't make carriers. It makes me.
I know.
I wish they would. Oh, a couple of storms. Ideally wants to be feedbacking those Vipers to prevent the abducts. Carriers dish out. Sorry, go.
Storming like 12 corruptors would be really awesome as well, but like his army was a lot more intimidating before he started fighting in range of the spores, because he had all those Void Rays helping out as well. If he would have just flown everything into the main, deep into the main immediately, that Scarlett would need a double abduct to kill any air unit. I really think he would have done well over here, but now it went terrible because he was hovering around the edge, which allowed Scarlett to abduct those units into range of the spore crawlers, and that's how it looks, how it feels a moment. It looks like you're in the middle of a war zone and you're dodging bullets and you're fighting a bear while drinking cappuccino, but actually you're not doing anything at all.
Well, that of course means game one goes to Scarlett. And if she wins this next game, she takes the series and pretty much guarantees herself at least one of the top 2 spots. So that's going to be very cool for her.